Everyone relax. This is TOFOP. I'm Charlie Clausen.
I'm Will Anderson. Hello, and thank you for watching.
How you going, man?
I'm going all right, man.
Do you love it when you're walking through like an airport or a shopping center and someone yells out, "Hey, Will Anderson," or something like that, or yells out, what would they yell out these days? Glasshouse? No. What are people yelling out at you?
I went to a music festival.
Yeah.
And my favorite one that somebody yelled out at me, like, "Oh my God, you're Gruen from Gruen."
It's like someone going up to Bruce Willis and saying, "Die Hard." Hey, Die Hard. I mean, they probably would, actually. You are Gruen.
It was late in the evening.
Yeah.
And this guy was not being in any way mean.
Yeah. It
To
was just
me.
the first thing that came to his mind.
And he just was so excited. He was genuinely excited. He was like, "Oh my God, you're Gruen from Gruen." And so I just said, "Yeah, mate, I am Gruen from Gruen." So it's like, why am I going to correct that? In that moment, I am Gruen from Gruen.
Well, if Gruen became like Gruen's successful, definitely successful. But if it had become like,
how much more successful does it
like
need to be?
globally, I'm talking like it becomes like a Labubu international brand. Yeah, like it's spin off. There's like you can get Gruen soaps, Gruen this, Gruen caps. There's people do Gruen review shows, Gruen podcast. It's an international brand.
That's probably what I need.
Yeah.
So at one stage, I think the closest we ever got to, having that moment where you're like, "Where's the international?" I mean, the show got very close to being sold overseas
the
a whole
format.
bunch of times. The format, and even the a version of it got pitched at very high levels at a whole bunch of networks where it was quite close to being made. They could never really get over the hurdle of how do you make a show that makes fun of advertisers. It's a bit of right? It's a bit of a hard one for businesses to get their head around. And but the idea, if somebody could discover it, that's what you need, some influential person. And I think the closest we ever got was like the drummer from the Killers watched Gruen one night when the Killers were on tour in
2017
Australia.
when they played that show where Jack Revolt jumped up on stage with them.
I mean,
probably.
Yeah. And they were touring Australia, and one night he was watching Gruen. And I might even be getting the band wrong. It might be like 30 Seconds to Mars or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but
I hope it wasn't 30 Seconds to Mars.
No. Well, I don't think
I don't know.
Oh, who knows?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah. Anyone associated
Guilty by association.
It's Jared Leto's brother, so I think there's a DNA issue there, right? Like guilty by blood. That's what I say. If you're related to a bad guy, you are a bad guy.
That's brave from a child who's in such a big family to take on all that sibling responsibility that you would have.
Yeah, I take.
You'd be fine with that with your family. You'd be like, you know what?
Yeah,
that's the rule.
If you hate my brother or sister, then it's fine. You can hate me.
Would in your family, if that rule was being brought in,
that you are held
blood
to
liability, you're
held to account for your
by the actions
by an immediate member of family. It can't be a cousin. It's got to be an immediate member.
Yeah,
you have to do half the sentence of your family.
Well, that it's a shared responsibility of the entire family.
That's right.
Yeah.
You all have to go to court to defend.
That's right.
The actions.
If
of
it's
one
8
of you.
years, you're all going to have to serve a year each.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I go on. So would I be willing to do
in that scenario, where are you in the rankings of are you willing to
There's
do it?
no troublemakers in my family.
Yeah, you'd be happy. You'd be fine with it.
I would probably be the most.
You'd be the one.
I would be the one that they would be most worried
I guess
about.
that's the question I was asking. Would you be the wild card that they would be worried about?
I mean,
You're the youngest,
you know what,
right?
though? Having said that, though, because I'm the youngest of such a big family, there's there's basically 3 phases to my family. And the eldest ones, I have no idea what they got up to.
That's right.
And it was the 70s, nearly 80s. So probably got up to a lot worse than what I got.
You're
up to.
like the new generation of cops on Law and Order.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Well, in that there was there's been other, there's original cast members.
Yeah.
And then there's been like generations of cops, and occasionally they have some connection to the past, but eventually they've got to the point where none of the cops on Law and Order really have that much of a connection to the, like your family stretches over enough generations.
Yeah,
that
that's
the top
right.
end is quite removed from the
but
bottom end.
There's no one in my family, like there's no legendary story of someone like being arrested or getting in a huge fight or anything like that.
And
like
considering that you're the youngest and you're not that young anymore, it's unlikely that
I had
anyone's
one
going to go
sister
that way.
who I think in the early I think hung out with like AC/DC, like when they're an up and coming band, or like they were getting big in Australia.
Right. Is your sister 100 years old?
No, but she would have been. Well, she's 60, so she would have been like a 15-year-old.
Yes.
So it would have been like a groupie situation, but did not like. There's like photos of her hanging out with Angus Young down at Elwood Beach or whatever.
Just both wearing school uniforms.
Totally. Well, I think he would have been probably about that age as well. But but there was no. I think apart from what everyone was doing in society at the time, like, it was the 70s and the 80s. But but my family's very, I think it's maybe the Catholic thing. I don't know. A lot of fear of
coloured between the lines.
Yeah, there's no real kind of like, no rebels. No one really pushed the envelope. Everyone's quite sort of like toes the line quite well. Fairly, I wouldn't say not conservative in a political sense, but conservative in a behavioural sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep their heads down. Very, very. It was a very sort of working class Catholic attitude to life, which is like, don't stand out. Keep your head down. Just shut up. Just get through life.
Do you ever watch those videos of somebody discovering a song? So like there's somebody saying,
isn't that
like,
our show? Yeah.
But it'll be like they're very popular on like reaction videos where somebody will be
they'll
like,
say,
"This is
hey,
the first time I've ever heard You're the Voice by John Farnham."
I was just going to say it's always You're the Voice. It's always some American listening to You're the Voice.
I've never heard of this guy, Johnny Farnham.
What a voice! Oh my God! Yeah.
Like, he is the voice.
Yes, I'm very familiar with that.
That sort of it popped up on a news feed recently of mine, and it was people watching Beds Are Burning by Midnight Oil. And like kind of discovering Midnight Oil and then what that song might be about and etc.
I think I might have seen the same one, or at least a version of it.
Anyway, it's great. Like really good way to pass your time and to kind of rediscover some of these iconically things that we as Australians grew up on going, this is incredible. Like, look at this. They were the most popular band in the country. Their lead singer was this like incredible charismatic performer that is as iconic in the way that he moves on stage as Mick Jagger is, or any sort of like icon in that way. And yet they were singing this incredibly like before its time song about like Indigenous land rights and what we, owed, and like, but in this just incredible, powerful song. And we grew up with that just going, well, we know Midnight Oil and they're part of like our
you
national
play that
story.
horn opening and everyone gets it. It's like the opening chord of Help, Like
just
it's
every
so
single person in Australia is like, well, we get this. We remember where we were, how iconic this was to, Australian identity. And then you see these people discover it for the first time and you reconnect with that moment. What I'm saying is I need that for Gruen. I need somebody to go back, like
look at it and go,
some person to go, like maybe someone who's in marketing or advertising, and they start watching the show and they react to it, and it becomes big through their reactions to it.
Would you so the show, just say that happens, it gets adopted by a new generation, it becomes huge, right? And it becomes this just massive cash cow for you.
Yeah. The irony.
Well,
that a show on the public broadcaster about capitalism becomes the thing that makes me incredibly rich.
Incredibly wealthy. It becomes a cottage industry. But your lawyers come to you and say, hey, look.
Because now I have multiple lawyers.
You've got multiple lawyers.
Now that I'm doing so well, I've got more than one lawyer.
And, because you're an EP on the show, aren't you? Is that right?
I am.
Yeah, so your lawyers come to you and say, hey, for you to hoard most of the wealth that's coming in from
and that's what they say, that they say hoard.
Yeah.
The lawyers, they say the official legal term is hoard. You'd like to do is hoard this money.
For you to be entitled to a larger slice of this pie, we've looked at all these different ways to tax dodgers and stuff. If you change your name legally to Gruen,
yeah, okay. So just before we get to that, you know what I love about what you've just pointed out is it's at the heart of everything, which is, hey, you were happy with the percentage of the pie you were getting before, but now that it's a bigger pie, don't you think you deserve a bigger percentage of the
absolutely.
pie? Even though the pie's got bigger for everybody, wouldn't you just be happy that the pie is bigger? But anyway, we're in a world where my multiple lawyers have come to me chanting more pie, more pie,
for
more
you.
pie.
You like
for
pie,
you.
right?
You like pie.
So they're saying you'll change your name to. So I think there's precedent, right?
Yeah,
like
Gruen.
Yahoo Serious, I think legally changed his name. Like Yahoo became his legal name.
Yeah, because he's born Yahoo happy, right? but he wanted to be taken more seriously.
That's right. The Ultimate Warrior, I believe, legally changed.
Wasn't born the Ultimate Warrior?
No, Jim Hellwig is his real name.
Okay.
But because I think when you become a wrestler, the WWE, they own everything. Like they own your character's name and all the IP.
Because it's like a brand. Yes.
So he legally changed his name to Warrior.
Great.
So he could continue to promote himself as Warrior and not have an injunction for that.
So I changed my name to
Gruen. Well, you don't have to be silly. What about Gary Gruen?
Gary Gruen. Why do I have to change my first name?
I don't know.
If
the
last
better
name,
alliteration than Will Gruen. Although Will Gruen. No, I don't. I like
Billy Gruen. What if I keep William but I become
Billy Gruen?
Billy Gruen.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Billy Gruen.
Aren't you Will Anderson?
Nah, Billy Gruen, mate. And you're going to start doing that.
Billy Gruen loves
Well, it's got two thumbs and making money. It's big slices of pie. Billy Gruen.
Yeah.
Would you do it? Do you think it's too late in your life to change your name? I mean, you've built a Will Anderson brand.
Yeah.
But maybe it's time
it's time to bulldoze that brand into the ground.
Billy Gruen. Like,
I
was going to lean in an example of P. Diddy.
Yeah.
I was like, he changed his name and things worked out great for him. Puff Daddy to P. Diddy.
Yeah.
You could do that. Snoop Lion. Like, the big stars do rebrands all the time. Well, the Snoop Lion one didn't really last, did it? His
That's okay,
phase.
though. It's fine. You just go through phases, and if it doesn't work, you just...
Love symbol. The Gruen symbol. What's the Gruen symbol? Could you be Gruen symbol?
Yeah, okay. I just changed my name to the Gruen barcode.
Oh, that's what a comment on modern society, because we're all essentially commodities in this capitalist society, Will, and advertising is just driving that. So I'm just making a comment on that.
So
you could masquerade it
a barcode.
Yes, and the great way about that is it doesn't look like a cynical cash grab. You're not just trying to get a bigger slice of the pie. You're trying to make a comment about society, man.
Yeah.
That we're all just we're all just products. We're all just like commodities in this capitalist society, man.
Yeah, and also we set up a system where, like, if you put your phone too close to my barcode, like it donates me $1 or something.
Yeah, right. So it's a QR code on one shoulder and a barcode on the other.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, if I'm going full grift, I might as well lean into the grift.
We should go full grift. I keep thinking that. Like, I just keep seeing all these sort of right wing people popping up and just like getting heaps of followers.
Yeah, but
but
why? But that's terrible.
But they make
like
money.
You could make heaps of money doing all sorts of awful.
No, you can't.
Awful
I don't
things.
think you can.
You can
at the moment.
You awful things.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. We should do awful things.
I don't want to do awful things though.
Can we do stuff that, like, at least sucks in the people who like awful things?
No,
but our conscience remains clear. There's no.
I don't think there's... Look, awful people have plenty of awful things to keep them occupied. I don't feel like we need to be recruiting awful people to our things, because then awful people... Here's what awful people are really good at: being loud about what they like.
Yes.
So you invite the awful people in, and then they just are loud and awful in your space.
Yeah.
And then the people who liked being in your space leave because there's too many awful people there.
I think we're sort of seeing that a little bit, right? Like politically, where like sort of the right wing were like, you know what, we're going to open up the tent a little bit and maybe bring in some people with some more extremist views because it gives us a majority.
That's right.
But suddenly, those people with extremist views, a bit unpredictable. And suddenly they don't like things that we sort of value. Yeah. And now they're accusing us of being like deep state or whatever. And now we can't handle it. It's like, oh yeah, I guess that is the devil's bargain. Like you sort of like, I'm just going to open up things and try and make some money. You let the kind of lunatics run the asylum and then suddenly they decide what the rules are.
I think that we have to work out a way to make cool things for cool people. You know, that's what we always said that our mission statement was going to be here. And
I've been working on it. You know what I did?
Okay, what did you do?
Over the summer break,
Uh-huh.
I spent a lot of time looking,
which is good,
at,
also, by the way, because people probably listen to this in October.
March.
By the way that we release episodes, so the summer break that Americans just had.
I did a lot of research around relaxwear.
Yep.
Relaxwear.
Oh yeah. Okay.
About.
I mean, the idea that we could be pivoting to being a
I think
leisure wear company is actually.
You've
brought this bananas idea up enough times that I'm starting to come around to it. It might be Stockholm syndrome, but I'm coming around to your way of thinking.
I think as long as we keep it real simple, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I've been focusing on. Here's what I've been focusing on.
Stupid.
Pants.
Yeah, pants.
Hoodies.
Caps.
3 things. That's what we're going to offer.
Pants, hoodies, caps.
Oh, and sleeveless hoodies, because we both like sleeveless hoodies. Because I've tried to keep it in the realm of things that you and I wear and like ourselves, right?
I mean, okay, this could be a range expansion.
Potentially.
But what I'm going to say is, the
beanies? You're going to say beanies? Because I did think about you because you'd been wearing a lot of beanies.
I love a beanie.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore a beanie. And I would say like longer, like kind of tracksuit shorts. Like, longer shorts, I think.
Longer shorts.
Because like if we're talking about relaxing, that's what I just think of like having like a longer comfy pair of like shorts. Again, might be a range extension when we're like we start. Well, we've got a winter and summer.
All I've been looking
at,
probably,
right?
I looked at a couple of pairs of like comfy sort of thicker tracksuit pants, and then some sort of just more I don't know what you would call them, like just pants.
Yeah,
but sort of like relax stuff you'd wear around the house.
The idea's got to be that. So, what's the philosophy of the?
It's
the brand.
It is high quality, ethically produced.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to cost us a bit.
I have bought a sweatshop in Bangladesh.
A clothes that is for people who subscribe to our philosophy of just relax. Because I did realize one of the things about living in the Northern Rivers is it's hot 9 months of the year. And so I do miss a little bit of having a selection of clothes. Like when I was down in Melbourne working, it was actually quite nice to get back to my accommodation and go, I'm going to put on some comfy clothes to relax in. Like you've been out all day, but now it's time to work or, just chill out or whatever. And you put on some nice, comfortable, warm clothes.
What do you do in the Northern Rivers? You're already in your relaxed
You're
wear.
naked. It's so fucking hot. Like, honestly, Gemma asked me, if I needed anything for Christmas. And I was like, just like singlets and shorts because I sweat a lot. You sweat through everything. You ruin it. But I do want, there's that 2 months where it's cold, a really cool hoodie that I could wear, or a sleeveless hoodie, which, at least will get me through kind of, the warmer, the sort of autumn to sort of spring kind of more mild months like that.
I love a sleeveless hoodie and there's not a lot of them on the market.
No, that's what that's why I thought that maybe is a gap that we can get into. Because there's a lot of, here's the thing, there's a lot of shows that do merch. There's a lot of kind of lines of whatever. I get that. What I want this to be is something that feels like it's not merch.
It's not merch.
It's something that you and I. It's relax wear. Because when we get behind certain things that we like, the Stanley Cup, like Hague's chocolates, there's things that we believe in that we get behind. That I notice from the feedback we get that people pursue because of our recommendations.
Yes, that's true.
So why don't we recommend something that we produce and can make some money from?
Well, this is the actual influencer business model.
That's right.
It?
Yes.
Where's our sex toy?
Just limp. It's just this flaccid. Are you interested in some flaccid sex toys? They have a hard time doing anything. They can apologize. It's with 7 built-in apologies. Sorry, doesn't normally do this. I'm sorry. I'm just tired. I'm sorry.
You're looking for a sex toy that won't annoy you for sex.
A sex toy that makes you question yourself. Makes you feel bad about yourself. Wonder if it's you. No, our sex toy, it'll work.
Yeah.
Once every 6 months. You've got to be ready.
It's great.
On its birthday.
Not your birthday, the day you bought it.
7 snoring modes. That'll be next. That'll be we'll do a sex toy next. Okay. The reason I asked about whether or not you like people yelling out Will Anderson, Gruen,
Yeah.
is when I was flying down here, I was walking to the airport and I saw Dave Hughes walking the other direction. I didn't say hi because we both going where places to be, but I did hear a guy behind me yell out, Hughesy, you know, high five or something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't turn to see if Hughesy actually...
Hughesy was there with the band High Five.
No. The dad behind me
All
yelled out...
5 high five?
No.
Are they back together,
Physical
high five?
action, the greeting high five, where two people slap their open palms together.
That does make more sense.
The father was prompting David Hughes, Australian comedian David Hughes.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dave Hughes, because there's a David Hughes out of Perth, Western Australia.
Is it?
He's also a comedian.
From the same vintage?
No.
So Dave started?
He might be a Brit originally.
Oh, right. And so there was a David Hughes, and so that's why Dave said, I'll be Dave.
No. This is like more... David Hughes came to Australia or like came to comedy after Dave Hughes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he said, I'll be David Hughes, which doesn't sound like a comedy name, especially when there's a very famous Dave Hughes. Like David Hughes, it's just not funnier. Like sorry. Is he a mate of yours? So before I go on this rant.
No, you're allowed to talk about someone's name without...
I know, but it just, don't you think, like, if you were going into comedy, having a more formal version of the name?
Well, if there was a... okay, let's put it on to me then.
Yeah, William Anderson.
If a William Anderson came along and started doing comedy, not funny.
I'm not saying William Anderson. If Charles Pickering started doing comedy, I'd be like, it's just...
couldn't have my Johnny Farnham moment where I'm like, I'm going to be William Anderson from now on.
Well, I guess George Carlin is a fairly formal sounding name, and he's one of the greatest of... Richard Pryor, he wasn't Richie Pryor. Nah, so I guess you're right.
Yeah, have you seen Ricky Pryor? Well, have you gone and seen Rick Pryor?
What about Edward Murphy?
Yeah, Edward Murphy. If he comes back now.
Edward Murphy does not sound... Like, it doesn't make you go, this guy's going to be fun, does it? Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
But like Edward Murphy?
Edward Murphy. You're like, I'm surprised how many times Edward Murphy used the F slur. Doesn't really feel like an Edward Murphy style of thing to do.
I think if you're going to go into comedy and you're like, there's already a Dave Hughes. I don't think you can go to David because it immediately sounds more serious.
With my name, like most of the people who are Williams in comedy traditionally have been Bills or Billies.
Oh, yeah,
Billy Crystal, Billy Connolly,
Anderson.
Like, Bill Cosby, I guess.
Yeah.
Bill Burr. Like, Bills and Billies, right?
Yeah. There's not a lot of
Wills.
But no.
So I perhaps should have been Bill Anderson or Billy Anderson.
Is Wilfred
What about Billy Anderson?
Is Bill Burr's real name William or Wilfred?
I don't know.
Can Wilfred be a Bill? No.
Yeah.
I can be.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, okay.
Why not?
All right. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what the rules are. But
he is William Frederick Burr.
Ah, there you go. William Frederick Burr. What if
two
Will
really
Burr?
Formal names.
What if he'd been Will Burr, as in Wilbur?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Instead of Bill Burr.
Yeah, he could be.
Wilbur.
I think there's some names that are inherently more comedic, but William is not one of them.
Nah.
Charles is not one of them. Is there a famous Charles comedian? It's too formal.
Probably, but
Charles
in charge.
Charles Bukowski. He's an author.
Charles, I can't think of one actually.
Charlie, because Charlie, that's more of a comedy.
That's right, Charlie Murphy again.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, but Charles Chaplin
doesn't not as.
Why are you falling over, Charles? I'm concerned about you. Charlie, you're like, I get
David Straussman, not Dave Straussman. The Amazing Jonathan. He used the full name.
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't the Amazing Johnny.
Yeah,
or the Amazing John.
That's a good point.
Jono.
It's Eddie Perfect, not Edward Perfect.
Eddie Perfect.
It's Tim Minchin, not Timothy Minchin.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's all making sense.
It's Rove, not Rovathaurus
What is his
McManus. John.
Is it?
Yes, John McManus. It is.
Is it? I've
yeah.
never. That's so crazy. I've never stopped to think that he has a real name. That's so weird. I just accepted it as being Rove.
It's Adam Hills, not Adam Hills are alive with the sound of it. That's his full name.
Anyway, so this dad high fives.
You've given me the anyway, haven't you? You don't want me to keep doing this for another
let's do it.
hour?
The dad high fives, Dave Hughes.
Yeah. By the way, the original question was, how do I feel about it? My prediction is Hughesy loves it because Hughesy generally likes being recognised in society. So you're about to tell me what happens. But in my experience, Hughesy loves being recognised. He loves when people yell at Hughesy. He'll refer to himself as Hughesy.
All right. Well, then, no, you've answered the question because I didn't actually see, because I was walking in one direction, he was walking in the other. And
One Direction were there? High Five and One Direction were there. This is what a celebrity.
This is going to be a 2-hour podcast if you're going to keep this shit up.
Have you got somewhere to get to?
So he's walking that way, and I hear the dad yell out, Hughesy, high five.
Yeah.
And I don't see what happens. I just keep walking, but I hear the dad talking to his son afterwards. And a couple of seconds later, he says to me, which you've just confirmed, he would love that.
Yeah.
And I was wondering in my head, would he have loved that?
He would have. I would not have.
Yeah, right.
Would
Would you have high-fived?
I mean, I would have.
I mean, they weren't there.
When I was in the line for Metallica.
Yeah. You went and saw Metallica.
I went and saw Metallica. Yeah, right. And Evanescence, who I'd never seen before. Evanescence was supporting Metallica.
I know they've got that one song. They didn't count and crows it, did they?
They played. It turns out I would have thought that I knew one Evanescence song. Wake me up.
Yeah.
Wake me
to the
up.
Daredevil song.
It turns out I probably know 3 or 4 Evanescence songs. And I think you would probably know about the same amount.
No,
and
I don't.
No, you would.
Absolutely not.
No, you would though.
We can't play Evanescence, can we, James?
All I'm going to say is that
can you sing the ones?
They're all exactly they all sound.
So do they all have a guy rapping and her singing?
No,
Okay.
in fact that's
the
exception to the rule.
He's not really rapping,
and
really,
he was
he?
That was
He's
kind
just
of
yelling.
added in a bit more as apparently not their ideal version of that song.
Wake me up.
Yeah, it's not as heavy in the mix at the concert, the Wake Me Up, it's fair to say.
Okay.
Her voice is incredible.
Yeah. They're kind of a gothy sort of pop band.
Yeah,
right?
like emo-y, gothy, And here's what I would say is, I just thought Metallica at Marvel Stadium, 60,000 people, I'm like, this might be tough for Evanescence, beforehand. Because Metallica
still
fans
got that very macho,
you know, I've never seen a stadium that if you didn't know that Metallica were on, you would have assumed there were 60,000 people there to see Evanescence. They were so into it.
Yeah, right.
And her voice, so they'd given them a full set. Like it was like a full headliner show with like full set and like the whole, so it's kind of almost like a double. It wasn't, of course, because Metallica are one of the hugest bands of all time, but it was treated as if it was, and it was treated by the audience in that way. Like there was one point where the phones were up around the thing and you were like, well, everyone's in here and everyone's watching this and getting into it. It was quite incredible, really.
Yeah.
But I was in a line at Metallica going to the toilet and there was a guy there who wanted to play Thumb Wars with me in the line for the toilet.
Look, that's not a high five. That's a much bigger commitment, way too much contact.
And what I'm going to say is that, of course, after a while, because you're going to have to stand there, it's just easier to say yes to doing it than it is to...
How many rounds, though? Best of 3?
Best of 3, I think we did.
Oh,
and then he moved on to other people. It was
okay, all right. Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can live with that.
I can.
But you don't know that that's what's going to happen when he takes a hold of your hand.
But what I'm saying is that based on the calculus that I made in that moment, that it was easier to acquiesce to the moment that it would have been to fight against it. Once it's happening, you've just got to go with it, is my general attitude. You can try to avoid it. Like if I'm out in public and I don't if I want to be private, there are, you just think, you wear a hat and glasses or whatever you can do. Like, I mean, it's not like I'm that well known anyway. Like, it's pretty easy to not be well known, right?
Yeah.
Like, but if it happens in that scenario, you tend to just acquiesce to it. So like, so if somebody comes by and says high five, it's easier to just high five than it would be to refuse a high five and then that become the interaction that you have, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going around hanging my hand out looking for high fives from people, but if one's thrown up in that scenario, then you're probably just going to high five and move on, right?
I think the thing that caught my interest was the fact that the dad was so sure
that Husey would have loved it.
That he would have loved
it. Dad's right.
That
Husey, to the day he dies, will always want people to know that he's Husey.
Okay.
He will want to be, as he's falling off the ladder to his death.
Why is he falling off the ladder?
Well, I don't know. I just tried to pick a way that like
he's going to go.
Husey's going to die.
Imagine if he does, though.
He falls off a ladder.
Imagine if he does.
I push him off a ladder.
That you are going to be suspect number one in this Law and Order episode.
And as he falls off the ladder, somebody's like, Husey, he would be wrapped.
Yeah.
That was the final thing that he heard.
That'd be a good. That's a pretty good way to go. I think, to be acknowledged into the great beyond. Do you not think? You'd rather go anonymously.
I don't have a preference at that point.
And Metallica was good. Were they good? I've seen them a few times, and I've always been impressed.
I'll tell you what the best. So yes, they're excellent band.
Yeah,
excellent at what they do, which is not really 100% for me.
It's funny how that look. I haven't seen them in maybe 5 years or 6 years. The last time I saw them,
well, you know when you saw them last time,
yeah,
it was just like that.
Okay, no. Well, what I was going to say is I saw them when I was a teenager. When it was I saw them in 1992, sort of Black Album era. And I went with a friend of mine, and his younger brother, who was a couple of years younger than us. And it was like the level of kind of testosterone, like when we got off the train and we're walking towards, I think it was at the tennis center, the level of aggression and anger, it was palpable to the point that my friend's little brother, he got scared. He didn't want to come. He actually ended up going home because he didn't feel like he could handle the level of kind of machismo that was kind of walking to the stadium. Yeah. And it was that, it was mosh pits and destroy, kill, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw them at a big day out in, 2004. And then about 10 years ago. But the last time I saw them, I think they're all sober, had been clean living for a long time.
Yep.
And it was all about the Metallica family.
Yeah.
You're part of the family. And it was this is like a Saturday morning, kids show kind of. Not
well. The thing that I have said so much since is because the thing I love about Metallica concerts is Metallica fans, but they are Taylor Swift pre-Taylor Swift,
right?
In that they have bought into not just the music of Metallica, but all the meanings behind the music of Metallica and all the the band itself and the journey the band has been on. They've been to therapy with them. They've bought into the internal conflicts and changing dynamics, but also I think that they write quite emotional music, but in a way that men who don't necessarily have ways to access that sort of community and that sort of emotion can wave their fists in the air and chant together. But it is a communal kind of getting in touch with your feelings and family and being part of it. And I've never seen more merchandise. Do you mean they have 18 different T-shirts?
Yeah,
right. And people line up for days beforehand. They change into them at things. You walk around. That idea that it would be daggy or whatever. To wear the band T-shirt to the band. That used to be an idea of you're wearing the T-shirt of the band to the band. That's not a very cool thing to do. Well, try and tell a Metallica fan that because 90% of that audience is wearing a Metallica T-shirt to that Metallica concert. It is about family and community, and when I go and see Metallica, I'm more interested in that than I am in the music, to be honest, because it's not quite my style of music.
And I think heavy metal,
I find it so impressive.
Heavy metal too is more closely aligned with nerd culture than it is with anything kind of
You're
sort
definitely aware of that as these guys have got
Like,
older.
I'd say, like,
because they're all older now, the Metallica fans or next generation.
Yeah.
And you can see that they've grown into the nerds they always were.
They always were.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. Because when I think
Yeah.
about going in 92 and my mate's little brother getting scared,
Yeah.
everyone's wearing like leather and flannels and long hair and, probably ripped a
Yes.
few cones on the way
It's
there.
very Dungeons and Dragons.
Very
or
Dungeons
like-
and Dragons, yeah. But,
Yeah.
and even when you dig into some of the lyrics of stuff, it's like all dragons
Yes.
and all that
Yeah.
kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it's like they are just massive nerds now. And all my mates who were headbangers when we were teenagers are all, like you say, like just the classic middle-aged nerds who love Star Trek and stuff in the same
But it's also
breath.
just that same thing of like, here is a thing that appeals to these groups of disenfranchised or slightly nerdy men who are looking for their own subcultures or whatever. And Metallica just are a huge popular example of that. But yeah, you can see that it's definitely about the idea of we are all here together to celebrate a thing we all believe in.
I had a chat to someone who works for, I think it was Live Nation or whoever brought Oasis out. And he was sort of looking after the band while they were here. And I said, what were they like? And he said, they were pretty tired by the time they got to Australia at the end of the tour. They had actually organised, their final show was in Sydney. They'd organised an after party for everyone, like all the crew and all that kind of stuff. But surprisingly, Noel cancelled at the last minute because he got shitty about something at Lehman or something. But he said the thing that really stood out to him was the merch. Yeah. He said they sure, they made a killing through ticket sales, but it was the merch that they just made an absolute, because they don't share, and they also don't have to share that with anyone. That's not going to anyone else. That's like 100% profit for them. So he was like, stuff was just flying, like bucket hats, 5 variant T-shirts, all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, it's all about brands, baby. Building that brand, Mr. Gruen, Billy Gruen.
Well, that is the thing about...
I'll change my name to Charlie TOFOP if you change your name to Billy Gruen.
Well, we've stopped the show being called... it's
called Charlie Everyone Relax.
Everyone Relax.
What about your... Billy Everyone, and I'm Charlie Relax.
Well, you know how there's like...
And together, we're Everyone Relax.
Okay, hang on. You know what? So there was Kim.com, right? Like the billion, like he's the .com billionaire. He lives in New Zealand now. And he was like, so he changed his name to Kim.com. Like, so yes, I love the idea that, okay, together we're Everyone Relax. So hang on, I'm Billy Everyone.
Yeah, and I'm Chucky Relax.
And you're Chucky Relax. Oh, yuck, I don't like that.
It does, it's too many sounds. Maybe I'm Chucky Everyone.
Chucky
no.
Everyone?
No, not Chucky.
No.
What about Chaz Relax? That has a bit of...
So I'm Billy.
Charlie Relax?
I'm
Chaz
Billy
Relax.
Everyone. I'm Billy.
Well, I just figure I should change my first name because you're changing your first
well, I
name.
don't have to. I'm William. I'm Will Everyone.
No, that's too confusing.
Sounds
Will
like-
Everyone.
What
Charlie.
about Ricky Relax?
Ricky Relax?
Ricky Relax. Oh yeah, that's good.
Ricky
Actually,
Relax?
Yeah, Ricky Relax and
Eddie Everyone and Ricky Relax.
I'm Eddie Everyone.
I think it was going to be...
I'm
We'll get
Ricky
too
Relax.
confused.
Hang on. I'm Eddie Everyone.
And I'm Ricky Relax.
And together we're
Everyone Relax.
Oh no, I was going to say mine and then you say
sorry.
yours. I'm
Go.
Eddie Everyone.
And I'm Ricky Relax.
And together we're Everyone.
Relax.
I hate it.
Me too.
I hate that so much. That's awful.
All right, we're not going to change our names. We're not going to change our
right.
names at all. How long have we been going for? Is it time for... no, it's probably...
Touch early, 36 minutes.
I touch early.
Yeah,
I've got one other thing
Okay, good.
to talk about.
Uh-huh.
I've been watching the Puff Daddy P. Diddy documentary. Have you seen any of that?
No.
I was not that familiar with his story. So he had Tupac killed.
Yeah, I mean, that does feel like
Indirectly. That's the what they hint at in this documentary, because they interview like the police who investigated, is that he was surrounded by, I can't remember, it's a Crips and Bloods thing, right? Can't remember what side were on Diddy's side, what side was on the West Coast. So do you know what?
I think P. Diddy was on a Crip and then Puff Daddy was a Blood.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Puff Daddy's chatting to, because there was this awards show where Death Row and Bad Boy were the two big record labels, and so at this awards show they're throwing bombs at each other, like, hey, if you want to make real music, come over to Bad Boy. Oh yeah.
Can I just by the way, like again, like I'm just being silly, but Death Row that does sound like genuinely like, yeah, we're death row. Bad boy.
Yeah.
You're a bad
Is it a
boy.
bit like saying David, you calling yourself David Hughes when there's a Dave Hughes?
We're death row.
Yeah.
We're
Bad boy.
I'm a bad boy.
Well, you know
Are you a bad boy? I'm a bad boy.
So I'm only. I think I watched 4 episodes. I don't know how many there is in the whole series. Like it's produced by 50 Cent, who apparently has had like a vendetta against P Diddy forever. Like it sounds like there's quite a few rappers, including Eminem and stuff, who have.
I didn't realize that the rap community was so adversarial.
But kept receipts. Like P Diddy has like been hanging on to all these kind of like all these bombshells and interviews and all this kind of stuff.
So hang on, 50 Cent has been hanging on to the
50 Cent
bombshells.
is producing it, and he has like he's got
50
all,
Cent's been collecting shit on P Diddy for ages.
For
a dirt file, a sort of
dirt
like
file.
in case of when this shit all goes down.
Oh, finally,
bang, bang.
I'm
here
going
I
to tell
go.
everything.
And
The
P.
true
Diddy was
story.
also producing his own documentary that was supposed to be counter to all the accusations.
Oh, yeah.
So there's
Oh,
footage that
yeah.
50 Cent has acquired from the producers of that.
Oh,
which
because they were
never went anywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they were making
Dude,
I'm an okay dude documentary,
Yeah.
and then that's been sold to 50 Cent.
Yes.
In this
I mean, that's pretty
in this
great.
documentary, they intercut the P Diddy footage, which was shot a week before he was arrested.
Yeah,
You've never seen a more stressed out, guilty looking fucking dude. Like
because he's guilty.
Yeah, but he's still trying to give off this image of being like invincible, and so he's got like his entourage, and they're staying in all these amazing hotels, and he's moving around New York and stuff. Like he's got like it's every sort of cliche. He's got like his personal stylist, but he's got like a spiritual advisor and like that kind of entourage.
Okay.
But like you just see a dude stressed, like his phone keeps blowing up because he's obviously got his lawyers and stuff calling him saying this person's coming forward, that person's coming forward, and he's like literally trying to like laugh it off and be like, oh, there's another accusation. What's this person talking about? Blah blah blah. And it's like, oh man, like the house of cards is falling down.
Yeah.
But then they sort of start flashing back to how his career started, and like I don't know if sociopath is the right word or maybe psychopath, but this is a guy who clearly he like identified that this is the world he wanted to be in, and then sort of who's a backup, like he was a break dancer, he was a backup dancer, and then he sort of like moved into sort of record producing, and then was like, oh, all the artists are getting all the attention. I'm just going to slowly sort of slip into being in front of the microphone, and then I'm going to put myself in the music videos, and that's kind of where the sort of beef started, where Death Row was saying, hey, if you're an artist and you don't want your producer muscling in on your music videos, come to us because we'll let you do your thing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So apparently, like P. Diddy was talking, like Suge Knight and Tupac dissed him on a track or did something that insulted him. And he was talking to some of his Bloods friends and made some offhanded comment about like, oh, I'd love to take those guys out or whatever. And it turns out when you're friends with
Don't
people,
joke around with those sort of people.
when you're friends with people who kill people.
I just meant to dinner, guys. What are you talking about?
So that happens, and then, Biggie, who's like, oh man, like this is getting a bit crazy. I don't want any part of this. It's getting too hot. Puff Daddy says to him, now fuck that. Like, let's double down. Let's fly out to the West Coast. We'll do a bunch of parties out there, and we'll just show that we're not scared.
Okay, go to the place where everyone wants to kill us.
Yeah. And apparently Biggie was like, but
I am
scared.
I'm so scared.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
And
I'm scared.
And Puff Daddy was like, no, we're going to do it. And so they go and they...
What could possibly go wrong? He said.
So Biggie gets killed. But then the weird part,
Accidentally,
and this is the part where you're like, oh, this guy is like, he's a monster, is P. Diddy dies, who was pretty much his biggest artist. And
Tupac dies.
Tupac died first.
And then Biggie dies.
And then Biggie dies.
Yeah, not P. Diddy.
Sorry, not P.
I know,
Diddy.
so many names.
So many names to
I
remember.
understand.
But then Biggie dies. P. Diddy then uses his death to not only promote like the record label and promote his own recording career because he releases that, Every Breath You Take one, I'll be missing you. It's like a, so he kind of uses the death of one of his artists. He basically absorbs the artist and says, "Oh, I'm going to take your career now. I'm Biggie now." It's like a vampire. He literally,
I got Biggie killed.
I got him killed,
so
and now I'm going to take his career. I'm going
Biggie.
to take his popularity, and even to the point where I think Biggie, they had negotiated, was negotiating this new contract, higher fees, bigger returns on his, and P Diddy's like, "Oh, he's dead now, so we're just going to tear that up." So Biggie's family's got nothing from like all these recordings. All the money goes back to Bad Boy.
I'm starting to think he might actually be a bad boy.
Oh, dude, like it's insane, and that's not even getting to like all the crazy, horrible DV stuff and the sex parties. But this guy was so successful, billionaire.
Yes,
like and it's one of those things where it always
starting to think that just being a billionaire doesn't mean that you're a good person.
Well, yeah, I mean. It does buy you a lot of loyalty, though.
Doesn't.
Like, there's these amazing scenes of sycophantism, where clearly guilty, the walls are closing in, but like his spiritual advisor and his hairdresser and stuff are just giving him all the kind of reassurance.
Well, of course they are. Where are they ever going to get paid $10,000 a day to give spiritual advice ever again?
It's great. Like, they literally, what a job. Just to ride around with a rich person, and just be like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You're doing good stuff."
What if, maybe I need to like find
hire
somebody who needs
a sycophant?
No, I was going to be the sycophant.
To who? Me?
No, to someone who can afford.
Right, I can't afford.
Like
that.
I'm, no, dear God, no, no. I mean I'm thinking like a Mike Cannon Brooks or somebody, like somebody.
Like a billionaire.
I guess this is back to
Justin Hems. You're doing good.
Yeah,
those Renos are great. Everyone loves them.
Yeah, everybody. Yep. No, it's good.
Don't pay your staff. Don't need to.
Not their super or something. Whatever. That's fine.
Garnish.
Fine.
Garnish their wages so you can.
You know
buy
what?
mansion.
Just provide an atmosphere in which they can all get drunk and have sex with each other. I'm sure that'll be fine. And maybe the people.
Hang on, what are we talking about?
What? Nothing.
Okay.
Let's not get sued by anybody.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
keep it general.
Okay, good. We'll be like Top Gun Maverick, where the enemy is they don't ever name. Have you
but we all know
it's an enemy.
The enemy,
the bad guy.
We
need to sell. We need to sell this film around the world.
Whoever you're thinking of right now,
that's them.
That's them.
We're going to defeat the enemy.
We hate them. In some countries, people are thinking of you.
You can't do that now, though, can you?
What?
You can't name this. You've got to come up with a fictional nation if you want to have a bad guy in your film or TV show.
Well, if you want to
sell it,
or you just have to pick a country that you're not interested in, selling it
towards.
I don't know what the least profitable country is, but maybe say for example it's New Zealand, and they pitch that as their, so every villain and everything is from New Zealand.
Would you be like? If the next big they do Top Gun 3, and they're like, no one really loves Australia. Let's just make Australians the bad guys.
Okay.
Would you feel any kind of hey, what are you doing? Why are you making us the bad guys?
Who's playing the Australian in Top Gun 3?
They don't hire any Australian.
No Australian.
No, because
someone doing
but the bad
Australian,
guys in Top Gun films you don't really hear from anyway. They're just fighder pilots. But it's just so you just see F-16s
but do we hear
with Australian flags.
voiceovers?
No, you don't. Hear
in the
shit,
shit. Oh, it's fucked.
Yeah,
oh,
he's in the crosshairs, mate. Bloody hell!
Oh, I'm up his arsehole.
Now I'm thinking we should be the bad guys.
Top cunt.
All right, let's get to. Oh, he had it queued up. This is why James has been a real upgrade on Mike the Third. He had it ready. We've been recording a lot in Melbourne lately, and mostly we've been recording on Thursdays, and it's been disappointing because
why?
Well, the South Melbourne market's not open.
Oh, true.
On a Thursday.
That's true.
But today's a Wednesday, so I was able. We're going to do this next 4 weeks is going to be a Cookie Factory special because we saw them a year ago. They've got new flavors. and I'm excited to try them. You excited to try them?
I agree. It mostly really started, around the cookie.
I think it
factory.
did. That was your first choice. So I'm going to close my eyes. I've got 4 different.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
All right,
this is a good way to start.
First one is salted caramel.
Salted caramel. I've never had it before.
Neither have I.
All right, that's a good start.
Now, what are your takes on salted caramel in general?
Firstly, what I'm going to say is it's Cookie Factory. Is that what it's called? We've commented on this before, but they have these little sort of foil inside things, and then they just print the name of the cookie on the outside.
The flavour you're about to eat.
I love that.
It must be such a pain in the ass for their staff, though. That's what I was thinking. It's like
now, what
someone has to individually stamp.
This is a thicker cookie than I normally would like.
Yeah.
Like in the middle, but it feels quite crispy around the edges.
It's very gooey watching it.
Yeah, but around the edges there feels like there's some consistency in it. So I'm a bit excited, I would say.
I got to say, salted caramel is not my favourite combination. I like salt and sweet for sure, but there's something about salted caramel that I find it's always a bit too rich. It's a bit too much. It's the extremes of the salt and the sweet. Salted caramel ice cream is not is one of my least favorite flavors because I find it's just too rich, too much. The creaminess of the ice cream with the salt, with the sugar all together, no good. Your eyes are getting beady. I don't know if this is a good sign or a bad sign. Well, he's going to come talk. I'm going to eat.
Well, what I'm going to say first and foremost is I really like the crunchiness around the outside. It's so nice. Again, it is a little thicker than I would like in the middle, just because that's not my favorite style of cookie. And it means because it's so sweet, because just it's much more like a white chocolate macadamia flavor at the base of it. Honestly, the salted caramel isn't as high in the mix as you kind of expect when you hear it being called. It feels much more like a nice, like white chocolate where it gets totally caramelized a little bit in the white chocolate. And if it didn't have the crispiness on the outside, I think it would be too sweet for me. But I quite like the crispiness on the outside means that it helps a little bit with the sweetness for me. What did you think?
Yeah, good restraint. I think they held back. It's not too sweet and it's not too salty. And you're right. You're getting I think the dominant flavor is actually the cookie, the buttery dough of the cookie, which I wasn't expecting. And so I think that's actually quite an excellent salted caramel. I would definitely have another bite of that once we're done.
It feels
and
it doesn't feel gluggy,
not too gooey in the middle.
No. Even though it's quite thick, if there's like a crispness to it.
I think you're right. And just looking, it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, it's got a thicker crust.
Yeah.
And so they've sort of they've banked up the cookie around the edge, so you get bulk cookie, and then you just get the gooey center, and it's not too overwhelming. I reckon that's a great cookie. I'm happy with that. I'm going to give that a B+.
Yeah, I reckon a B+ as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That impressed me more than I thought it was going to impress me.
Like Shania Twain says, you don't impress me much unless you're a salted caramel cookie from the Cookie Factory in the South Melbourne Market.
I mean, it was one of her least successful remixes of that song.
Someone suggested the first part of that sounds great. Yeah. It's the part about the cookie we're not sure about. What very specific about South Melbourne Market.
What about, like, instead of things not impressing you, you're like, hey, I'm Shania Twain, and here are a list of things that do impress me much. And one of them is a salted caramel biscuit.
Can I say also at South Melbourne Market, there is a bakery, I don't know the name of it, that do donuts, and they look incredible. To the point where this morning I was thinking, do we branch out of biscuits and go into...
What would our donut segment be called?
Do not pun.
Go nuts for donuts.
We go nuts for donuts. No.
That's a bit politically incorrect these days, isn't it?
Like nuts to say mental.
Yeah,
mental
I think
health.
so. I think so. Yeah. Whole? Can we do something with whole?
Yeah. Look at our fill our hole. The hole fillers. The jam filled. What about Lord of the Ring iced rings? Lord of the iced rings. I feel like it's a bit of a Tahir where we're encroaching on his. What was his? He had a show once that was like Lord of the Kebabs, the Fellowship of the Hummus. Something. Do you remember that? I remember when Charlie Pickering and I used to live together. We were obsessed with that poster
Because
Lord of the
just,
Kebabs of Deutsche Welle.
I have made
the
no
crowbarring
effort.
of
Lord of
pop
the Crowbar.
Lord of the Eye Strings, the Fellowship of the Jam-Filled. That will be our segment. No, that won't be. We have no idea when this episode's coming out, but I think it's a comedy festival.
Oh, yeah. Comedy.com.au
Yeah,
if you want to come and see me do my shows. I'm touring all over the country anyway, so please go to comedy.com.au and buy tickets.
And please check out our Patreon, where you get full episodes, ad-free episodes, early releases of episodes, and lots of good stuff. And, like, honestly, years and years worth of archived material. You accidentally stumbled on our Patreon.
Oh, yeah. People having great conversations there, like posting stuff. Like, there's an active community, and it seems very fun.
And the Friday live stream is back. So come
yes.
have a chat with me. It's been fun. It's been really good connecting with everyone. But we'll be back again next week. I'm Charlie Clausen.
Oh, well, that is it.
Oh, actually, am I Charlie Clausen?
Oh.
I'm Ricky. No, you go first.
Oh, I'm Eddie, everyone.
And I'm Ricky Relax.
And together, we're everyone.
Relax.